The scripture reading for this morning's lesson will be taken from Joshua 2, verses 1 through 7. Joshua 2, 1 through 7. I'll be reading from the King James. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they have come to search all the country. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whether the men went out, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flax which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate.
Good morning, everyone. Just thinking about this, and been preaching for 30 years now. It's hard to believe. It's amazing how fast time flies. You start speaking and having the abilities that God's give you, and a lot of them you take for granted, but never really preaching I take for granted. I don't. I just know it's a blessing from God, and the ability to do those things and convey a message that's with simplicity. And also, I want you to think about your life. And I don't know how many times I've seen this story and thought about this story, but thinking about the idea of Rahab and her ability to do something when the moment came upon her, and how she reacted. It's something that we probably want to mimic, not that she was basically lying, because there's different parts of the Bible you'll see different things happen. You're like, wait a second, that person wasn't truthful. Well, in this case, she was protecting God's people. And I think about this, about today's lesson, this little light of mine, because I want you to think about a couple things here. How many people like cloudy or overcast days? I wrote this because of me. I am not a December, January, February person. And Megan can vouch for that. I don't like overcast. I dealt with anxiety and issues of you couldn't imagine because of dreariness. But I thought, you know what? How do I actually come across? Am I kind of like that? Because you look at the benefits of sunlight. Just from the physical side of things, you get better sleep. Sunlight helps to regulate certain hormones in your body. Sleep better at night. You get stronger bones. Look at some vitamin D deficiencies. Also, it improves the mood. How many agrees with that? Look at the hands raised on that. Absolutely. Improves the mood. Look at these other benefits. You get helps certain types of cancer. Not saying sunburns is what you're looking at, the negative aspect, but also skin relief. Some people have issues with this, but you're thinking of what sunlight really brings to you. There's a lot of benefits. There is. Because it's astonishing that it can provide that many. Well, what about your spiritual health? Have you thought about that? Can it use some sunlight? I should be shaking their head again. It can. In John 9:5, it says, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. As long as you're here, what are you? As long as Jesus was here, what was he? He was a light. So what do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself to be a light of the world while you're on this earth? So, with that being said, are you a cloudy or are you a sunny day? We talked about this, didn't we, Rick? That's amazing how sometimes the Bible study kind of overlaps with the lesson. A lot of thoughts are conveyed But we talk about this being a pessimist. We'll talk about that later in the lesson. How does our light shine through us? Well, it's going to be based on three different things today. Our light is either transparent, and we'll go into that a little bit detail, or it's translucent, kind of muddied up a little bit, or it's opaque. They don't exist at all. And these things we're going to talk about. But in John 8:12, it says, when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Each one of us should pattern our lives based off of this verse, if we follow the teachings of Christ. We're going to look about how that's done. So does your glass need clean? Well, let's take a closer look at this. Opaque, not able to be seen through. If you see that bulb burn out, ain't put much light on it, is it? Not much coming out of that. A poll taken in 2018 by Gallup states that nearly 7,500 full-time employees found that 23% reported feeling burned out at work very often or always, while an additional 44% reported feeling burned out sometimes. How many's burned out at work right now? Oh no, I'm in trouble. I work with a guy. Is it easy to get burned out? So ask yourself this question, because this lesson is for you for 2024 too. I always got to throw something to kind of push you to be better for next year. Are you burned out with religion? Serving God, or always agitated that you have to do the right thing? Many of us will get us stuck in this rut that we are burned out because always got to do the right thing every time. Romans 5:3-5 says, and not only that, we also glory in the tribulations, knowing that tribulations, what do? They produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. And now hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out in our hearts by the Holy Spirit who was given to us. I feel like a lot of times this happens to us. Many are burned out because they didn't push through their trial. How many agrees with that? God tested you, and he wanted to see what you would do. And how did you react to it? You didn't let your light shine. You let Satan claim the victory. He won. And I know what? I'm content with it. Good job. No, you're not supposed to be like that. That's not how we are. Because this is the other half of it. It says in 1 Peter 4:12-13 says, beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial. Not this easy thing. It's fiery trial that you're going to experience when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice insofar as you share Christ's suffering, that you may also rejoice and be glad when his glory is revealed. Brothers and sisters, these aren't easy things to get through. When something tests us and makes it rough on us, it isn't going to be just a walk in the park. Oh, that was so easy. I'm glad that's over with. No, it's not. There's repercussions of everything. You just got to be able to push through it and not blame God, not blame others, because you wasn't able to push through it and you didn't let your light shine. Are you still harboring ill will? Don't let this light get the best of you. Open the blinds and take back what evil has taken from you, because it truly is evil. The darkness that is covering you today is evil, is Satan. That's the opaque person that doesn't let anything in their life let them know that they are a Christian. They have no idea if you're just a person that never goes to church or you're a person that loves God. How about we look at a translucent? Translucent, allowing light but not detailed shapes to pass through. Semi-transparent. You ever heard of seeded glass? Seeded. Looks like little teardrops in it. It's like little bubbles that goes down. Got some air inside them. But you can see what's behind, but it's kind of distorted. A lot of front doors are like this, aren't they? Can't see the house, but you can see. That's you. Maybe. Because a lot of people will fall in this category. They're a Christian, but there's a little bit of fuzziness there. Can't really see the bright light coming out of it. You're interested in religion, in serving God, but you're not sold 100%. Or you're not giving it the full effort. A lot of people just go through the motions when they fall in this category. Some examples of this. You give to God, you give to someone, but you do it reluctantly. I don't know if I should have given that much. You help someone, but you complain about it. You pray, but just as when it's convenient, not that often. You sing, but not with the understanding. You read the Bible, but you don't study. You don't learn anything from it. You don't dig deep into it. You just kind of, I hit that verse today and that's good. I don't really want to learn much more about it. That's all I needed to know. You worship, but not in spirit and truth. You're here, but you're not here. You're not here to really praise and worship God. You're just here for a check mark. You stand by the Bible. You stand by God's word as long as it doesn't affect your lifestyle. This is a translucent person. They have the evidence and the outline of a Christian, but they're still harboring Satan on their shoulder. 1 Corinthians 14-15 says, what is the conclusion then? I will pray with the Spirit, and I will also pray with the understanding. I will sing with the Spirit, and I will also sing with the understanding. When you come in here, when you sit down in that pew, do you focus on praising God? Or do you look at every distraction going on around you, and then your mind goes everywhere? You're easily distracted. You just can't get focused. How about, do you let people change you as a Christian? You're fine walking down there, but there's a pothole. Oops, I'm mad now. I'm upset. I was all smiles and just that little trip. I'm mad now. You let people affect you. How about, are you holding on to the past, which is immobilizing your future? Are you? I don't know. Some. Philippians 2:16 says, holding fast to the word of life, so that I may rejoice in the day of Christ, that I have not run in vain or labored in vain. Put your full effort into it. Let it all out. Don't let something take that away from you or someone. How confident are you on the day of judgment? Are you giving it your all? Or is there something this day and not allowing your light to shine? If it is, take care of it. Make this the best day of your 2023 by getting rid of that. Transparent. Allowing light to pass through so that the objects behind can be distinctly seen. See how bright that bulb is? It's weird. I go to work. I'm the only one with the lights off in it, Rick. I don't know why I do that. I can't stay. I don't like, not being able to see sunlight, but I got all the lights off. And I think sometimes the devil wants me to have the lights off. But this person, this Christian, Sam, is what you see is what you get. You know why? They're not fake, are they? They're not fake. There's no dimmer switch in them. They don't go down. They're at 100 watts every single day. There's nothing going to dim them. There's nothing going to filter their light because they don't allow sin to take that away from them. You don't let nothing obstruct your ability to shine. Matthew 5:16 says, let your light so shine before men that they may see what? Your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. That is what we should strive to be like. Every opportunity we get to do good, we should take it and run with it. Your Christian thoughts and actions are never distorted by outside influences. Your heart is clean and it is pure. Colossians 3:23-24 says, and whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of your inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ. I think a lot of people get down in the dumps because they want praised for their actions. I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They think, I need that pat on the back because I went out and I did this. Why? Who sees it? Who sees it that matters? God sees it. That's the only person you should be concerned about. Not if Jeremy told me thanks. He didn't tell me thanks. I ain't ever doing anything for him again. That's not the way it works, folks. You had the wrong purpose in your heart when you did it, if that's your thought. Philippians 2:14-15 says, do all things with what? Plain and disputing, right? Or was it without? It's without it. Yeah. Don't complain. Don't argue. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just do it. That you may become blameless and harmless, children of God without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights. Whom you what? You shine as lights in this world. That's the attitude that everyone in here should have. We need to strive to be a spiritual illumination and lead others to the gospel call. Work on being a ray of sunshine. Don't be what, Rick? What was that? A Debbie Downer? Miserable person? Can't stand things? Upset all the time? That's not the way a Christian shows their light. You'll change everyone's outlook if you're an optimist. God's light provides us so much. We find hope in times of despair. We find peace during unrest. And we find joy in times of sorrow. That's the light that God provides for us. And that's what you can provide to someone if you show your light. John 1:4-5 says, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. So how can I let my light shine? Well, the first thing, you need to get yourself back on track. You need to examine your heart. You have to see what is wrong with me right now that's not allowing me to provide the sunlight and not let me shine. Psalms 139:23-24, David's talking about, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there could be any grievous in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. God knows you better than you do. He does. That's why you ask God, try me, help me understand what I'm deficient at. Because we may think we know everything, but we don't. And he does. Let him examine your heart, but you need to pray about it. Don't be fake. Luke 6:46, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I tell you? Just going through the motions, helping someone because you want served or you want to undermine. That's not what a Christian does. Take time to encourage someone. Hebrews 10:24-25, and let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works. How many people have encouraged someone this week? How many told them thank you? I love that. You're such a good person. I'm really glad that you came over to see me. I hope we can get together next week. Have you did any of this? Or you just continue to go through the same motions every single week, thinking that this person is going to be uplifted because you smiled at them? Or are you going out of your comfort zone and you actually are saying something to someone because you are trying to deeply encourage them to serve God to be better? This isn't just talk. This is the reality. Gain knowledge of the gospel. Proverbs 2 and 6. You want to know more about the word and you want to shine it and let it promote the growth of it? You got to know it. Proverbs 2 and 6 says, for the Lord God gives what wisdom? From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. And last of all, help someone in need. Hebrews 6 and 10. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand if you've helped someone, because I know there's a lot of people in here that do it all the time. If you're not a person that does that, maybe that's something you should put on your list of things to do for 2024, is to go out of your way and to help someone. Ask someone, see deficiencies. But the only way you really get to know, I'm going to tell you something, really, only way you really want to know how to help someone is you have to get to know them. If you don't know them, it ain't going to be, hey, Todd, you know what? You do this for me? They're not going to do that. You got to ask them and see what their cares and what struggles they're going through, and then get to know them and say, you know what? How about I can help you out with that? In conclusion, are you a 40, a 60, or a 100-watt bulb? What are you, Carl? Which one are you? Huh? Are you just a little bit of light, medium light? Are you blinding? Ask yourself that. Jesus is the match that will light the candle to your soul. And there is so much to be said about that. He truly is. If you haven't found Jesus in your life, then you're missing everything in this world. You're truly missing all the benefits that this world has to offer if you don't know who Jesus is. Don't allow sin, evil, and worldly lust to hide your sunshine. Don't allow these things to distort, to put out your ability to convey God's message through you. Even when days are dark and dreary, as they are, 85% of the time around here? This is tough. It is. I wake up, I can't tell if it's noon. So I try to sleep till noon now. I'm kidding. I actually slept till 10. I don't like to tell people that, but I've been around Megan just a little bit too long. But I'm just thinking to myself, when I got up, I'm like, man, I missed half the day, but I couldn't even tell. It was dreary out, dark. And it's crazy to me when I see this is when there's just that little bit of sunshine comes out. You ever seen that ray come out of the sky and you're just like, wow, it's nice out. And that's going about 2 seconds later. But there for a second, you're like, wow. You just feel warm. You feel the warmth and the glow. And it changes your whole demeanor and your outlook on that whole day. That's the way you need to be. Ephesians 5 and 8 says, for you were once darkness. And I think you need to understand this. For you were once darkness. Not that you walked in darkness like we walked in, but we were. We were that. Everyone was that. But now you're not. But now you are a light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. This popular hymn makes so much sense when you get older. This little light of mine, what is it? I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine all the time. Let it shine. That's how we have to be. So in conclusion, I don't know who I told. I said it was a show and tell. But there's one person in this building that'll know what this is. He can't cheat. So everybody knows what this is. Gotta go back and show everybody. They see that? Looks like somebody wasted a lot of time on something, right? See all those little holes and all that stuff. How many knows what material this is? Anybody want to guess? I'll let one guy guess then. What do you think it is? It's glass. This is 3D printed glass. Glass. You find it strange looking? Doesn't look like glass, does it? Doesn't look like glass at all. Do you know why? Well, there's some reasons why. This glass has some impurities in it. Could be oxygen, nitrogen, could be dirt, could be any of those things. So it was printed. It's not completely see-through because there's things in it that distorts it. And that's the same thing that's happening to you. Because when you have sin in your life, it's the same thing as this. It doesn't allow the crystal clearness to shine through. You've got a little bit of a haze to you. And that's what the devil has you entrapped in. He's not allowing you to shine that light because that sin is distorted. Get rid of it. Make this the best day of your life and get rid of sin. If you've never become a child of God, the way is required is to be baptized and confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. But if you have fallen away, and so many people have in their life, have fallen away, it's easy to get back on that road. Put that sin behind you. Allow this congregation to pray for you and get back and allow that ray of sunlight to just glow like you've never seen before. If you have the need and desire to serve God better this day, would you come forward as we stand and sing?